Good morning, everybody. I'm Michelle Holloway. I'm here with Roll and Restore. Today you need a tennis ball or your melt ball. You also need a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller and you still want to try to partake, some of the stuff you could do without the foam roller, and some of it, maybe take a yoga mat and bind it real tight, and that might be helpful for some of the sequences. Do the best you can. We are working on some sequences that will help us sleep today. I've been getting a lot of emails that people are struggling with insomnia. And who knows? It could be the weather, it could be what's going on. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to stand up nice and tall. Align the ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and hips over feet. Go ahead and raise all 10 toes for a moment. Separate them wide and then replace them on the mat. Let's begin by allowing ourselves just a few full breaths. And remember, when I say a full breath, I'm looking for breathing into the diaphragm, allowing the belly to blossom. And as you exhale, allow the belly button to come in towards the spine. Notice how the rib cage kind of scoops the diaphragm. After your next breath, I encourage you to close your eyes, but you don't have to. But it's a lot easier to connect with our body when our eyes are closed. Just notice what you're feeling. How do your feet feel on the floor? Notice your knees, the hips. Maybe sway side to side, or maybe even rotate. Notice what's clicking, clacking, pain, stiffness. And then reset your body. I'll have you transfer all of your weight into the right foot. And I want you to take your ball right underneath the very center of our foot. And from here, we're going to gently rock side to side a few times. Remember, the goal of the gentle rocking is to find tolerable pressure. We never want to feel pain. And then keep what you feel is tolerable pressure on the left foot and allow yourself a few breaths right here. The center of our foot helps release the diaphragm. From here, we're going to step back slightly. Weight goes into the left foot. And I want you to take that ball right behind the big foot knuckle, come forward and compress and take a breath. And then take the ball right in front of your heel. Go ahead and bring it forward, compress. And then to finish today, quick movements, light pressure, just roll the whole entire foot. There's a spot that feels really good, maybe go over that a couple extra times. Done. Let's go ahead and position the ball underneath the center of our right foot. Again, our feet are wide. We're gently rocking side to side a few times to find the tolerable pressure. And then keep what you feel is tolerable pressure on the right foot. And again, allow yourself a couple of focused breaths. And it's important that our shoulders stay completely relaxed. And when you're breathing, we're trying to breathe again into the diaphragm, feeling the belly rise and fall. Chest is last to expand. Go ahead and step back into the left foot, decompress the ball. I want you to take that ball right behind the big foot knuckle, come forward and compress. And this helps with the neck. Transfer the weight into the left foot. Let's lift our foot and place the ball right in front of our heel. We're going to go ahead and compress, pause for a moment. This helps with low back. And again, we're just going to create that friction. Quick movements, light pressure. Roll the whole entire foot. Let's go ahead and place our weight into the right foot, rolling the left foot once again. And then last time on the right. Done. We'll place our ball to the side, and I'm going to have you lie down. Actually, I'm going to go this way. Once you have yourself on the mat, make sure that you adjust your shoulders so that the collarbone is open. Adjust your hips so that you have a nice neutral spine. Remember, the goal of this session is to help relax before bed. So I want you to focus on a slow breath, and we're looking for the deeper breath. Close your eyes. Allow your belly to rise as you inhale. Exhale, let it all go. One more time. A nice full breath. The belly expands. Exhale, let it go. I'll have you extend both legs, arms to the sides. With your eyes closed, just to take a moment to notice how your body feels on the floor. How does the upper back feel? Are you feeling your shoulder blades protruding down into the ground? Notice the scoop in your back. Do you feel something like a mid-back arch or a tiny little scoop underneath the lumbar curve? Notice your pelvis. Is your bum fully weighted to the ground, or are you feeling more tailbone? Noticing the thighs. Can you feel your thighs resting on the ground? Or do they feel like they're popped up? Divide yourself into a right and left half and notice if you feel even in length. Allow yourself another full breath. Take the right knee into the chest and then the left knee into the chest. Hands behind the thighs. And from here we'll create gentle circles with the hips. Usually by the end of the day, our hips are really tight. We'll have low back pressure. Let's reverse the circles. So gentle movements will help relax it. I'll have you bring your knees in close to the chest. Again, shoulders relaxed. Stabilize the right leg. We're going to take our left hand from behind the thigh to the knee or just there on the shin and start to create some gentle circles with that hip. And you can reverse the circles. And if that throws you off, don't worry about it. Just keep the hip moving. Go ahead and bring that leg in. Take your hand behind the thigh. We'll slide our right hand away from the thigh and place it on top of the shin, closer to the knee, and create the circles. Again, this just helps create some fluid in the hip joint. And reverse it. And then from here, we slide our hand behind the thigh once again, pulling the knees in just a bit closer. And that should feel good on the low back. Let's place each foot on the floor. And I'll have you grab hold of your foam roller. And we're going to place it right behind our thighs. Take another breath. Let your body kind of get heavy on the floor. We're pinning our flesh to the roller. And I want you to simply open the legs and then close the legs. Allow the knees and toes to kind of drape out to the sides as you open, and then you're rotating them in as you bring the legs close together. It's almost like you're making a sideways number 8 with your feet as you do this. And then you'll bring your legs closer together, just relax for a full breath. Using one hand, push that roller forward just a couple of inches. So now you're in the belly of the hamstrings or the back of the thigh. And once again, we slightly pin our flesh and then start to open and close the legs. It's important that your heels stay close to the ground. If they're up in the air, you're kind of missing out on what this is doing. And then once again, you just bring your legs closer together, completely relax them and take a full breath. I'll have you take one foot to the roller and push that roller past your knee space. Remember, we never roll our spaces. And place the roller right underneath your calves. So we're just past our knee space, high up on the calves. And from here, I'm going to have you just simply take your legs left to right, kind of exploring the tissue. Notice any speed bumps in there. And if you feel a speed bump or a knot, I don't want you to get on top of it, but get right next to it. And then create some ankle movement. You can create circles with the ankles, or you can point and flex, whatever works for you. And then again, just pause, take a couple of breaths. Use one foot to the roller to push that roller forward just an inch or two so that you're now in the middle of the calves. This time we'll bend our knees and extend the knees. You're only moving a couple of inches. And you can even lean to the left, return to center, and then lean to the right. And then once again, we'll bring our knees to center, and you're just going left to right with the legs. And once you notice a speed bump or a knot, get close to it and create that ankle movement. And then once again, just pause, take a breath. Last time, take a foot to the roller, push that roller forward a couple of inches. So now you're at the bottom of the calves, and we'll do the knee bends. Once again, you can lean to the left, return to center, lean to the right, bring it to center, and then we pause, taking our legs side to side, and once again, create your ankle movement. Relax here and take a couple of breaths. I'll have you use your foot to pull that roller a little bit closer to your bum. Once it gets closer to the bum, you're going to grab hold of it, press both feet into the floor, and lift your hips. I want you to place the roller at the very back of your hip, so we're underneath our sacrum. Make sure you're not underneath the low back curve. We never roll the curve. I want you to take your hands to the front of your hips. Find the top of your hips. So the roller should be underneath the very top of your hips. And then if you reach down, the flesh of your glutes should be on the foot side of the roller. Allow yourself a full breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, if you notice my ribcage just kind of popped up. As you exhale, you're going to blow all the air out and pull the ribcage towards the floor. Keep your rib cage down, and then we bring both knees towards the chest slightly. Our feet are just angling, and you can, to test what's the best position, if you place your hands on your thighs, you should be able to lengthen the arms. So our knees aren't going directly up to the ceiling, they're angled towards our face slightly. Replace your arms to the ground, and then take both knees just an inch to the left side of the room. Using both hips, you're going to create these tiny circles. Go ahead and stop that motion, and then just give me a lazy march. You're going to take one foot towards the floor and then the other. And again, be aware of your rib cage. It's not moving, and it's angled down towards the floor. Bring your knees together, take a full breath. And then just slowly take your knees an inch or so to the right. And then once again, we're creating these circles, the SI joint shear. We pause and create our lazy march. Bringing the knees together, pause for a breath. And then return the knees to center. I'm going to have you place your left foot on the ground. And then just simply extend the right leg. Begin with your thighs level or in line with each other. And then slowly start to lift the leg. And the leg is coming towards your face, but I want you to stop before the knee bends. And then once you get to that position, you're going to point for the toes, and we'll flex our foot. One more time, point for the toes, feel that pull in the shin, and then flex the foot. I want you to take a breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, you're pressing your rib cage down towards the floor. Hold it there, take another breath in. And as you exhale, gently press your hips down into the roller. You're not forcing it, you're barely moving, but there's a little pressure there. Think of hip to heel press towards the corner of the room or the ceiling, depending on where your leg is. And then we're simply going to take our knee and toe out to the right side of the room and then rotate it back to center. So you're externally rotating that hip and back to center. Two more. Go ahead and exhalate, rotate, create a little bit more length in the leg, and then bring that leg closer to the midline and just give yourself a full breath. We bend the knee, placing the foot on the floor, kick out that left leg, and then slowly start to bring the leg up just to that point that you can keep lengthening the leg. If you feel the knee starting to bend, then you've gone too far. Pointing through the toes to start, and then we flex our foot. One more time, point and flex. Hold your flexion. Allow yourself another breath. Exhale, press the rib cage towards the floor. And then once again on your next exhale, gently press the back of the hips towards the roller. Exhale, rotate that knee out to the side and then return to center. We rotate and center. And if you're anything like me, you should feel a nice pull across the outside edge of the leg. One more time. Hold this position. And then once again, we're going to take that left leg closer to the midline. Think about hip to heel press. That connective tissue is getting lengthened. And then bring it to center. Place that foot on the floor. We pull our right knee into the chest. Hands behind the thighs so you don't stress out the knee. And from here, maybe take a look at your left knee. I want it in line with the hip, and you're going to gently plant that left foot, including your toes, into the ground. Our collarbone stays open. Our pelvis is tucked. So think about the pubic bone coming towards the face. And I want you to focus more on the left leg versus the right knee coming towards the chest. Allow yourself another full breath. And then from here, we'll slowly place our right foot onto the floor. Left knee comes into the chest. Take a gander at the right knee. Make sure it's in line with your hip. And once again, plant that foot firmly into the ground. Tuck the pelvis, rib cages down, and just give yourself 3 or 4 relaxing breaths here. Try closing your eyes. Remember, the sequence is for a better sleep. And if you can do this with your eyes closed, it will help you relax for a deep sleep. From here, we're going to take our hands away from the thigh, and I want you to simply cross left leg over right. So we have that figure 4. Take another breath in, and on your exhale, let me hear you. You're going to pull that rib cage towards the ground. We pick up our right foot off the ground. I want you to take that right hand and grab hold of the heel of your foot. And if that's a problem, you can always grab behind the thigh, whatever works for you. But the foot is flexed. And then we're going to take our left hand to the inner thigh. And I want you to think about pushing that left thigh up and away from you. This right leg is going to do the work. We're using the right leg to press towards our face. So we have a push in 2 different directions. Now I know this is my tight hip, and I have a tendency to start to lean to the left. My body wants to cheat itself. So make sure you still have both hips square and down on the roller. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to gently press the hips down into the roller and maybe push just a little bit more with the right leg. One more breath. This one's great for your low back. Let's go ahead and place that right foot on the floor, uncross the legs. Right crosses left. And again, before you begin, allow yourself a full breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, pressing the rib cage towards the ground. And then when you're ready, we bring our knees towards the chest a bit. You're going to grab that use the left hand to grab the heel. We flex our foot. Right hand goes to the inner thigh. We press up and forward. Now use this left leg to press towards the face. And then once you have yourself in position, a full breath in through the nose. Exhale, sink the rib cage. And then on your next breath, I want you to think about gently pressing both hips down into the roller. It's a tiny, tiny motion, subtle. And then allow yourself 3 or 4 breaths. We place our left foot on the floor. Let's uncross the legs. From here, you're going to lift your hips and push that roller away. I'm going to have you take it away from your legs, lean to one side to come up. And then from here, we're going to hydrate our upper back. So we'll place our feet on the floor, and I want you to place that upper back on the roller. We should start at the bottom of the shoulder blades, and if you're not sure, you can kind of punch the sky, and you should feel the shoulder blades landing. Another way to do it is to just reach back. Find the bottom of your shoulder blade and make sure it's in alignment. We take our hands behind the head, and I want you to lift your hips, tuck the pelvis, and then we place the back of the hips to the mat. Using your thumbs on the base of your neck, your head is fully supported. From here, let's take a breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, think about creating more length in the spine. Your head's reaching back. Take another breath in, only this time as you exhale, I want you to give me a rib curl. So the ribs are going to come towards the hips. We breathe in. Exhale, create length in the spine. One more time, a breath in. Exhale, curl. Pause for a breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to create the length, only this time keep the length. Please be aware, you're not falling over the roller because now my rib cage is popped up, my neck is not in a good position. But if I can keep length in my spine, and my rib cage is now reaching for my hips. We lift our bum just a little bit. You're going to rock forward and back, maybe 2 inches. Keep it real small. And then from here, go ahead and tuck your pelvis, place the back of the hips onto the floor, curl up slightly higher, and you're going to give me side bends. Remember, side bends means you're taking your rib cage to the hip, you're laterally bending. Make sure you're not crossing over. We want to keep our the shoulder blades pinned against the roller. Return to center, take a breath. Once again, lift your hips just a couple of inches, maybe walk your feet forward a bit, and then we're going to come a little higher up on the shoulder blades, keeping the motion real small, forward and back. And this time I'm going to change it on you a little bit. I want you to lean into the left shoulder blade. For me, I like to take my feet wider. It gives me a better, helps me maneuver better on the roller. So I'm creating like a swirling action over the right shoulder blade. And then I'm going to go ahead and make that motion tinier and tinier. And then I just stop, placing the right hip on the ground. I want you to take your elbow towards your face even more, the right elbow, and then open it up. Think about like a clam motion. You're just opening and closing while you have pressure on that shoulder. We bring our elbow into the head and just pause for a breath. Lift your hip and then bring yourself to center. You can do your gentle rocking. I'm sorry, Jack. Yeah, forward and back. And then lean into the left shoulder blade. And once again, if your feet are wide, it'll help you. Start to create a swirling action over that shoulder blade. And then go ahead and make that motion just a tiny bit smaller. And then simply stop, placing the bottom on the mat, your bottom on the mat, and then open and close your elbow. Once again, we're going to bring our elbow in towards the head, pause and take a full breath. Lift your bum, return your back to the roller, and then we're going to roll from the tops of the shoulder blades all the way to the bottom. I want you to give me 3 or 4 of these. From here, we'll lean to one side, use that hand to bring yourself up, and then turn your roller vertical. We're going to have a seat on the very edge of it, and then we walk our hands back. Lying down on the roller, I want you to start by touching your head. Make sure you're 100% on the roller. If your head's hanging off, it's not very comfortable. Our feet are about hip distance apart and they're light on the floor. Hands are at the sides. Go ahead and just take a full breath for a moment. As you exhale, allow yourself to sink or get heavy on the roller. And then from here, just gently rock side to side. And when I say rock side to side, remember your spine is glued to the roller. So as you rock side to side, everything's coming with you. As I lean to the left, so does my hips lean, my chest leans, my head leans. This gentle rocking helps our nervous system and spine get acclimated to the pressure of the roller. Let's return to center. Again, taking a full breath. On your next breath, simply tuck your pelvis. As you tuck, you'll feel the small of the back touch the roller. Our feet are still light. Make sure your bum is not activated. And then just completely relax. And when we relax, it brings us into a tilt. On your next breath out, tuck. And again, simply tilt. I'm going to have you place your hands on the rib cage. As we tuck and tilt our pelvis, we are looking for stabilization in the rib cage. And remember, this tuck and tilt is so subtle. It's not a big movement. Now go ahead and relax the pelvis. One hand to low belly, one hand to the chest. And again, try to keep your eyes closed throughout this. As you inhale, inhale fully through the nose, letting your belly and ribcage expand. Exhale through the mouth. Give yourself a handful of breaths. If you feel your body wobbling or rocking side to side as you are taking these breaths, that's okay. Don't try to correct it. It's just your body finding its center of gravity. One more time. And then let's take both arms, reaching up to the ceiling, starfish hands, palms face each other. Lift the shoulder blades away from the roller. Feel that space between the spine and shoulder blades. And then let them get heavy on the roller. Breathing in or out as you reach, and then do the opposite as they get heavy. One more. Shoulder blades heavy on the roller. Let's go into single arm reach. One arm is reaching for the back wall, the other one's reaching for the wall in front of you, and then we just switch arms. And switch. So your movements don't have to match mine. I want you to think about inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other. And think of slow, fluid movements. From here, I'll have you take both hands to the floor, reaching for the corners of the room. If your head was 12 o'clock, you'd be reaching for 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock with your hands. Slowly turn your head to the right, slightly tuck your chin. The left arm stays on the floor, but see if you can get more length in the arm. I'm hoping you feel a nice little tug across the forearm. Some of us might feel it into the shoulder as well. Return your head to center. Turn your head left Again, make sure you have a slight tuck in the chin. And then the right arm, try to create more length in that arm. And you'll notice one side's a bit tighter than the other one. Again, returning the head to center and gently rock side to side a few times. You'll kick out one leg, fall off that side of the roller. Use your hand to pull the roller away. And then I'm going to have you take that roller horizontal and place it underneath the base of skull. Take one hand and touch your neck. The roller should never be on your neck. Remember, we don't roll our spaces. So make sure you make an adjustment. And once you make that adjustment, making sure that the roller is at the base of your skull, you can replace your hands to the sides, palms up, palms down, whatever's comfortable. But I want you to begin with just a handful of circles at base of skull. Reverse the circles. And then just pause and take a breath. Go ahead and keep your legs bent, but drop that left knee to the side and then turn your head to the left. You're on the left corner base of skull. Gently compress the area. And again, you're going to create a handful of circles. Reverse the circles. Go ahead and compress and take a breath. And then just give me a handful of nods as though you're agreeing with somebody in conversation. And then we pause and allow ourselves a full breath. We lift the knee. We turn our head to the right, dropping the right side. Again, compress the area and add a few circles. Reverse the circles. Pause, create your gentle nods. Pause and take a full breath. Lift the knee, head to center. From here, I want you to slightly tip the nose and chin up towards the ceiling. We take a breath in. And when you're ready to breathe out, you allow the chin to float to your chest. Let's do that 2 more times. When you're ready to breathe out, we raise our head. And again, let it just float towards the chest. Last time here, our nose and chin travel up. And then let it travel down. Use one hand to get rid of the roller. I'll have you extend the legs. Extend your arms overhead. Just reach to both ends of the room. Take a couple of full breaths. Take your arms to the sides with the palms up. Close your eyes. Quiet your mind. Notice how your body feels along the floor in comparison to when we started. Ideally, that upper back feels more evenly weighted to the ground. Ideally, the scoop in your back is much smaller. Hopefully you feel your bum evenly weighted to the ground and the thighs closer to the ground. And then just allow yourself a handful of full breaths, letting go of the worries of the day. Relaxing from head to toe. Let go of all the tension. Give yourself permission to simply be. From here, I'll have you slide each leg into a bent position. Take both knees to one side of the room and use your hands to help you come up. We can cross the legs in front of us, And then just give yourself a couple more breaths by reaching up to the ceiling and then lower it down. Maybe take a side bend to one side and then to the other. Bring it to center. Again, arms come up. This time, bring your hands to heart center. Have a great day today. Hopefully that helps you sleep. Any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to us. If I'm not cueing properly, I need to know. Thanks. Enjoy your days.